this is Karen from the Huntley Library, and today we are going to be making origami paper cranes. Here are our supplies for today. We don't need a whole lot of things since we're doing origami, so you just need some paper and maybe some scissors if your paper isn't already in a square shape, because you're going to need to fold it and cut it into a square. So I've got scissors. Here's a little crane that I folded already. If it helps you to have a diagram of how to fold a paper crane, I downloaded one from Wikipedia just to remind me how to do this. I've folded paper cranes before, but I forget from year to year, as it turns out, so this just helped remind me. I find it really hard to learn origami for the first time from a diagram. It's easier for me to watch a video or have somebody show me, but I'm going to show you today in a video, so hopefully you will not need the diagram. So we are going to get started with this. Doing crafts at home like this has been really good for keeping my kitchen table clean, because I have to have it nice and empty in order to show people how to do this. So that's one benefit. Put my instructions off to the side. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, if we have a rectangular piece of paper like this is just off of a pad of paper that I had. It's an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, so if you have that sitting around your house, you can use it. It can be lined or unlined. You can decorate it if you want to beforehand. It's easier to decorate it probably before you fold it. Otherwise you're going to be working on a little crane like this. So to make it into a square, just fold the triangle sort of in half and over to the side. And you're going to have maybe a couple of inches of paper left on the bottom that doesn't get to be part of that fold. Be nice if I could fold straight. Okay, so there we've got our triangle. And then you're just going to cut this piece off here. If you don't have scissors, you can fold this back and forth a bunch of times until it's weak enough to just tear that strip right off. You're not supposed to cut anything in origami, right? I'm gonna do it. This is not part of the actual piece that we're doing, so that's legal, right? Okay, so now we have a triangle there that we can work with, and then I'll open it up briefly so you can see it's a square. I'm not kidding, it's a square. All right. So the first time that I heard about paper cranes was from reading a story, probably in grade school, called Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes by Eleanor Coer, or Coer, C-O-E-R-R. It's a fictionalized story about a real person, Sadako Sasaki, who is a Japanese girl who survived the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. And she developed leukemia, which is a cancer of the blood from the radiation poisoning as a result of the bombs. And there's a legend that says that anyone who can fold 1,000 paper cranes will be granted a wish. And Sadako wanted more than anything to live so that she could run on a track or a cross-country team. So she decided to try and fold 1,000 paper cranes. So this is where the story book differs from accounts from people who knew her. In the book, they say that she never finished folding her cranes. She finished about 644 of them, is what it says. But family members dispute this, and they said that she actually folded more than 1,000. She folded around 1,400 paper cranes. Anyway, her story became famous, and paper cranes became famous too, these origami folded cranes, worldwide, and they became known as a symbol for peace. And every year people in Japan now will leave folded paper cranes near a statue of Sadako, which is in the Hiroshima Peace Memorial. And they do this on Obon Day, which is a day when the Japanese people celebrate their ancestors' spirits. So I think peace is a good message. So we're going to be folding some cranes, and they will be cranes for peace. Okay. Alright, so we've got one half of this folded already, and we are going to fold this in half again and make another sort of triangle. And then you're going to turn your triangle so that it's facing with the long end away from you. And then this part we are going to fold down into a square. So hold it up and then press down and hold the center piece, and you can push up with your finger like that, and then it just automatically folds down into this nice square shape. And then press really hard on the edges here so you get nice sharp folds. And we're going to turn this over to the other side and do the same thing. So you have your square on the one side, fold this up. You may want to fold it down on this side too so that you have a nice crease on this side, and then press this part down and kind of hold it in the middle on the inside. Press up with your finger to get a good crease, and then push down and fold your square. Again, sharp creases on the edges here. Okay, so leaving it in this orientation where all of these bits are open at the bottom and this part is closed at the top, you are going to fold from the side here, just the top part of the papers, into the center and line it up with this nice crease that you have in the center line, and make a little triangle there. And do the same thing on this side. Fold in to the center and make a triangle. And then you have this kind of kite shape here, and you're going to do that on the other side as well. So we're flipping it over, but keeping the open parts down at the bottom there. Fold in from the side to the center and make your little triangle. And then again, fold in to make that triangle and the kite shape. Okay, so now it gets interesting because we are going to lift all of this up and make a diamond shape. So again, make sure your creases are sharp, and then we're lifting this up, this top part here, and you can see that it's starting to sort of fall into place. It helps if you push a little bit on the inside and push these parts right in the middle there to get it to lie open and flat. You want it to match this bottom part. This bottom part is going to stay in place and be the same shape, and then you're going to be creating a triangle up here at the top. And it might take you a few tries to get this to lay flat and even, but once you've got it, hooray, make your creases, and then we'll try that on the other side too. So flipping over, and then creating that piece to match on this side by opening this part up like so, and following that center crease to help it along, pushing in here where we need to. That part, this side worked a little bit better for me, and can pull on it a little bit too, and then iron out those creases with your finger. Okay, so now our shape is sort of a diamond, and you've got some little walking bits on the bottom here. These are not actually the legs or anything, but that's what I'm going to refer to them as. So you have little legs on the bottom, and then you have these two triangles at the top which are closed. These eventually become our wings, and then this part becomes our body, and then these two leg pieces are going to become our head and tail. We have a few more folds to do before that happens. So next you are going to fold in this top piece. You're going to hold, this is the orientation you want it with the legs pointing down. I'm going to keep moving them. So you're going to fold in from the side here to the center right in the bottom here. And you want to line up with the center line too. So you're not folding this pointy bit here to the center here. You're just folding it wherever it happens to naturally fall, which is just a little bit above that center line, because you want this is the part that you want to be even. And you're going to do that on this side as well. We do a lot of repeating of the folds on each side in the origami crane. Okay, and we're folding into the center again. Looking good. And then flipping it over like we did before and doing the same thing. So this piece on the side here is going to get folded over to this center line. We'll crease that. Oops, I didn't get it quite even. Can go back over and refold if you screw up. And then I have one more fold to make here. Folding into the center again. And when you're doing the second side, it's easy to just line it up with what you did on the back, so that you kind of know where you are, if you're in the right place or not. Oh, I did a bad job on that one. Okay, it's a little bit better. All right, so there's our walkie bits and our wingy bits. Okay, so now we are ready to make the head and the tail. And to do that, you're gonna open up on the side here and move this piece. You're gonna do this with both of the leggy pieces. You're gonna fold this up inside, and then this part here is going to fold together in half, and then you can just fold it inside there, and then bring it out a little bit and decide where you would like it to be for either the head or the tail. You'll decide in a minute which one you want this to be. And then you're going to do the same thing for this piece. So we can turn it and then kind of open this area up, fold this piece up, make kind of a horizontal line right there, and then fold it in and in half, like so. And you can put this down on the table to do it. I was just holding it up to show you a little bit better. And then you can pull it out a little bit and decide where you want it. I kind of like to have them be matching, although this part is down a little bit. Okay, so then which part do you want to be your tail and which part do you want to be your head? Usually there's one that looks a little bit better just as it is. So for me that's going to be this one. That one looks a little less crinkled. And so I'm going to turn this part into the head. And to do that, you can tell that I'm right-handed, right? Because I keep turning it that way so I can use my right hand to bend things. So to make the head, you're just going to decide how much beak you want, and then just kind of press your thumb in there, and you're going to push down on this piece, and then to make it stay, you're going to put like a little indentation right there at the top, and then press together so that it folds down. And decide what angle you want the head and the beak to be. And then you've got your little crane pretty much almost all done. Now to make it more three-dimensional and to make it so that it can stand up like this one's doing, or sit down, or hold its shape and hold its orientation here, you can take the wings and open them up and then kind of pull them gently to the side, and as you do that, this part in here opens up, and you can press down on that a little bit to make it keep its shape. And then you have a crane which can sit there on its own, pretty much. And if you want, you can also fold the wings too. That is up to you. Lovely, good job. So that was just with a piece of 8.5 by 11 lined paper, and you can do this with fancier origami paper. Like I have some sheets of that I will use to make other cranes. So I'll go through that one more time a little bit more quickly using the origami paper. If you want the design to show on the outside, you'll want to keep the design on the outside while you're folding too. So here we go. We're folding in half and making a triangle. Maybe I'll remember this longer this time. And then you can fold in half again to make another triangle. up, and we're going to turn our triangles into some squares. Do that on the other side. I'm going to fold that over to get a better crease, and hold it down on the inside, and then make another square. What's next? What's next? Do you remember? We're going to fold in to make our little kites on both sides. Flip it over, make a kite. This is the magical, confusing part. At least it was for me the first time that I was learning. Now I know it's supposed to happen, so it's just getting it to do that. So we're opening this part up and then matching the edges to what's underneath it and making a triangle, but also a diamond shape. My corner is not cooperating there. Help. It really doesn't want to make a little link here. Might have gotten it better. Fight with your paper as much as you need to. Alright, I'm going to leave that and do the other side. Opening this part up. And this one really doesn't want to form. It's very reluctant. You're gonna do it. Oh, yes you are. It's good to watch me struggle with things, right? Okay. You can help it along by kind of folding down on the top part that's going to be the body. That seems to be helping. If you get stuck like I was just stuck. So I think, yay, that's better. This part up here is a little off. I'll pull that back. Okay, that looks better. So we're going to fold in now by these legs. Flip it over and do the other side. Those sharp creases really help the folds fall into place. Okay, and we're ready for neck, beak, heads, and tail time. There's one side, flipped around already, and here's our other side. I guess if you want to finish 1,000 cranes in any reasonable amount of time, you have to get fast at folding them, right? I'm not quite there yet. This side is kind of folded a little messily here. It's kind of wild. Can I do it now? It really doesn't want to fold backwards. It's like, I like this one fold that I have going on here. So yeah, I guess I will just let it do that, and then I will form this part into the head. I'll just do that right now since I happen to be over here. And it's going to be a little wonky. There's that. There's our tail. It's going to be the recalcitrant crane. And then pull on the wings a little bit to get this to open up. You can experiment with different sizes of these too. This is the smaller paper, and then this was the larger paper. So that's a comparison of how they look together. This is the one that I folded before that turned out much better than this one, but that's okay. And they start to look really cool when you have a whole bunch of different colors and designs of paper. You can hang these up. I made like a mobile out of these once, And I just used a needle and thread to make a loop and kind of connect them all together, or just make a string so that you could hang it from that. And then I tied them all up together, and they kind of flew around in the wind, so that was pretty neat to look at if you have a whole bunch of them and can do that. So I wish you success in making your paper cranes. I would love to see some of them if you have a chance to post a picture. Thanks for joining me. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you had fun making paper cranes. You might have done this before, or maybe you've tried other origami projects. I find origami to be fun, but kind of challenging sometimes when I'm learning it for the first time. So I hope you had lots of good success with that. So for more fun craft ideas and other things you can do, please join us at the Huntley Library on our YouTube channel, or on our website, www.huntleylibrary.org. See you next time.